You looked over a very low fence of white cravat, whereof no man had ever beheld the tie, for he fastened it behind, and there it lay, a valley between two jutting heights of color, serene and whiskerless before you. It seemed to say, on the part of Mr. Pecksniff, there is no deception, ladies and gentlemen, all is peace, a holy calm pervades me. So did his hair, just grizzled with an iron grey, which was all brushed off his forehead, and stood bolt upright, or slightly drooped in kindred action with his heavy eyelids. So did his person, which was sleek, though free from corpulency. So did his manner, which was soft and oily. In a word, even his plain black suit and state of widower and dangling double eyeglass all tended to the same purpose, and cried aloud, "Behold, the moral Pecksniff!" The brazen plate upon the door, which being Mr. Pecksniff's could not lie, bore this inscription: Pecksniff, Architect, to which Mr. Pecksniff on his cards of business added, and Land Surveyor. In one sense, and only one, he may be said to have been a land surveyor on a pretty large scale. On an extensive prospect lay stretched out before the windows of his house. Of his architectural doings, nothing was clearly known, except that he had never designed or built anything. But it was generally understood that his knowledge of the science was almost awful in its profundity. Mr. Pecksniff's professional engagements, indeed, were almost, if not entirely, confined to the reception of pupils, for the collection of rents, with which pursuit he occasionally varied and relieved his graver toils, can hardly be said to be a strictly architectural employment. His genius lay in ensnaring parents and guardians and pocketing premiums. A young gentleman's premium being paid, and the young gentleman come to Mr. Pecksniff's house. Mr. Pecksniff borrowed his case of mathematical instruments, if silver mounted or otherwise valuable, and treated him from that moment to consider himself one of the family, complimented him highly on his parents and guardians, as the case might be, and turned him loose in a spacious room on the two-pair front, where, in the company of certain drawing boards, parallel rulers, very stiff-legged compasses, and two, or perhaps three, other young gentlemen, he improved himself for 3 or 5 years, according to his articles, in making elevations of Salisbury Cathedral from every possible point of sight, and in constructing in the air a vast quantity of castles, houses of parliament, and other public buildings.